All right, guys. So here's why the Bantamweight division has now become so interesting. Because I'm sitting here in a conversation with Tony and Brian, and stupidity comes out. But the stupidity comes out because they don't know. Here's the beauty in that, though. When Sean O'Malley becomes champion, because he hasn't fought so many guys, there's confusion as to what's next. So, as we're all in here sitting playing matchmaker, one guy gives this crazy. He goes, let's go Merab versus Chito. No, dummy. Chito's fighting for the belt next, right? Can we all agree with the history of Sean O'Malley and Chito Vera? They're going to fight next. Then he goes, well, let's go Umar versus this guy, and then let's go this guy, leaving out Cory Sandhagen. Cory Sandhagen just beat Chito. This is why this division has already, it became fun. Because now you start to question who fights who, when they fight, and who deserves the title fight. Let's break down the facts. The person that deserves the title fight more than anyone is Merab Dvalishvili. Hands down. They're both nodding their heads now. They're fucking idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. Merab Dvalishvili is the number one contender. He's won multiple fights in a row. He just beat the former champion, and he beat him 5-0. Remember, the new champ, Suga Sean O'Malley, went tooth and nail with Petr Yan in a fight that many thought he lost. Now, MMA math doesn't work. That's one thing that we have learned time and time again over the course of the time that we have watched the sport. But when you do it, it's still a pretty cool thought. Well, this guy beat this guy, and this guy beat this guy. It's crazy because that works in other sports, right? If you watch a football team beat another football team, you think to yourself, well, they match up really well with this team that the other team lost. Doesn't work like that in MMA. People want to talk about Sean O'Malley and Merab for the red jacket. Guys, fuck the red jacket. Seriously, the red jacket thing was Merab watching his friend get challenged by a guy he knew he was going to fight. Merab doesn't deserve it based on that. He deserves it based on the fact that he's won all those fights. But let's get to Marlon Vera. Does Marlon Vera not deserve it? Well, he just got beat by Cory Sandhagen in Austin. But when you step up on short notice and you beat Pedro Munoz on the same night of a guy that becomes the champion that you own a win over, now you start to become a viable contender. It happens that fast. Chito goes to the back. He beats O'Malley. Look, I love that Sean O'Malley no-sells the fight. They fought on the same night, and Stipe and I completed our trilogy. I remember watching it, not really understanding what happened. Sean got hurt. Fight was stopped. Da-da-da. That's enough. Sometimes it's a story. Do you guys remember when Cody Garbrandt was the champ and TJ Dillashaw was his former teammate and kind of called him a snake, and they had a sparring video of him knocking TJ out? It was enough. It was enough. Here you go, TJ. Here's your title fight. TJ wins, becomes a champ. Chito Vera's in a similar situation. You got a history with the new champion. You fought on the same night as the new champion. And guess what? In a striking-based fight, Chito Vera is a very real challenger. We saw it in the first fight. He presents problems for O'Malley, but that was O'Malley in 2020. So much can change in 3 years. And I love Chito. Chito might be the coolest guy in the entire UFC. Everybody loves him. He walks around, he treats everybody so kind. He's so nice to everyone. He's so friendly that people are just drawn to him. O'Malley's on the internet saying, apologize. Say you're sorry and maybe I'll give you a title fight. Chito ain't doing that. Chito ain't going to apologize. And realistically, it's crazy because Sean O'Malley now is in a position where if he pushes back enough, somebody might not get a title fight. And I knew that when I saw the Suga Sean sweet sweat on the floor of the octagon. That's a hard thing to do in the UFC. Sean O'Malley accomplished that. So that's Chito Vera's case. But Chito's case is based on being at the right place at the right time. But does that make him less of a contender? No. Chito could have had a title fight before he fought Sandhagen. But he's a beast and he's a savage. And so he had an opportunity to compete and he took it. He lost. So what? Came back and beat Pedro Munoz. Now he finds himself back on the verge. Let's get to Henry Cejudo. You guys remember him? He was a double champ. He fought Aljo for the belt, lost a competitive fight, but him and Sean O'Malley have history. Sean, when telling Chito to apologize, said, you better apologize or I'll pick Henry. So again, based on the storyline, Henry Cejudo is now once again a viable contender without having to fight again after losing. So if I'm Henry, I'm just getting ready. I'm getting ready for the opportunity just in case Marlon Vera doesn't make it, because we know that Cory Sandhagen had surgery. We know that Umar Nurmagomedov had surgery. We also know that Merab had surgery. Now, are those guys going to be back and healthy by December where Sean wants to fight? I don't know. But if they're not, if I'm Henry Cejudo, I'm sitting there just waiting with bated breath, hoping that I get my opportunity to fight once again for the championship without even really having to fight. And we still got more to go, right? We're through the bantamweight division. We've got the 3 guys. And we're not even breaking into all the others, because we still got Cory Sandhagen's case. And hell, we got a case for Umar Nurmagomedov too, amongst other people. But before we get to that, we got to pay some bills. Today's video is brought to you by the new movie Gran Turismo, based on a true story. It's based on the unbelievable true story of a team of unlikely underdogs, a struggling working class gamer, a failed former race car driver, and an idealistic motorsport executive. Together, guys, they risk it all to take on the most elite sport in the world. The movie is directed by Neil Blomkamp, and it features an incredible cast led by David Harbour alongside Orlando Bloom, Jamon Hansu, Jerry Harlowell Horner, and Archie Madekwe as Jan Martin Burrow. Guys, some of the most famous racing competitions in the world are recreated through the use of actual Nissan GTs, drones, and practical effects. The racing sequences are so real that the real-life Jan Martin Burrow himself served as the stunt driver for the film. This is a movie that needs to be seen on the big screen. Gran Turismo, based on a true story, is an inspiring, thrilling, and action-packed story that proves that nothing is impossible when you're fueled from within. Gran Turismo, based on a true story, and it's exclusively in movie theaters today. Get your tickets today, rated PG-13. The other case, there's still more people with a case. Umar, Cory Sandhagen, who has now won all those fights since losing to Aljamain Sterling and then beating Chito Vera very recently in Austin. He fought a smart fight, but he was hurt from round 1 and was able to dominate for 25 minutes over Chito with a lot of wrestling, showing his evolution as not only a fighter, but as a full mixed martial artist inside the octagon. He fought beautifully. He fought beautifully to beat Chito. He's got a case. Umar has got a case. He's injured. Shoulder popped out in his last training camp. Hell, he was supposed to fight Sandhagen. Didn't happen. He got hurt. But he's got a case. You know what's probably the craziest thing about this whole bantamweight situation and who's next for O'Malley? I've listed 6 guys for you. But what about Aljamain Sterling? This guy's the greatest bantamweight of all time, and he seems to be just forgotten. One of the idiots said, how about Sandhagen and Aljo? They just fought. It's how Aljo earned his title fight. Dummy. I mean, it's crazy some of the people I hang out with. But here's the deal. If it was up to me, I think Aljamain Sterling gets a rematch. Because why not? Everybody else did. Every other long-reigning champion that lost their belt got immediate rematches. He has as many title defenses as anyone in the bantamweight history. He has beaten everyone. He has fought well. Why not give him another title fight? We can't say because he got knocked out, because Izzy got a title fight rematch when he got knocked out. I got stopped and got a rematch. Usman got stopped and got a rematch. and so many others. Hell, Volk went up and lost to Islam and almost got a rematch. If he wanted it, if he wanted to wait, he would have got another fight. So why does Aljo not get that? So we're making the case for all these people to fight for the Bantamweight Championship. Why not Aljo? In the comments, you guys tell me, why not Aljamain Sterling when he has the history of what he has in the division? Now, I advise Aljo, take some time though. You fought a lot this year. Rest your brain. Come back later. O'Malley wants to fight at the end of the year, so maybe that's why he's out. But if anyone deserves it, it's a guy that defended the belt as many times as anyone else. Just my thoughts. But if O'Malley really does turn around in December, could you imagine that fight card when Colby Covington, Leon Edwards has not been announced, when the light heavyweight championship has not been announced, and now O'Malley is saying he wants to fight again? To end the year, it could be one of those massive fight cards that ends the year and starts the year like we used to have in the UFC. Amazing opportunity in what is, guys, the best division the UFC's got. No one's better than the bantamweights. Give me your comments and thoughts on this division and how we should move forward. Because I don't envy Sean Shelby. He makes a lot of money, but it's a hard job. Very hard. Congratulations to Shannon Sharp. He joined the Volume family. Club Shay Shay. Very exciting times to welcome Shannon Sharp. Until next time, guys, like, subscribe, and tell your friend to tell your friend that DC's got a YouTube channel. And I'm dropping content constantly. Till next time, peace. Welcome to the Suga Show, ladies and gentlemen.